Hello everyone, welcome to a week 9 video for becoming a digital learner. We're going to talk about how to get math support when doing your math class this year. So to graduate with an Oregon High School diploma, you need to complete 3 math classes at Algebra 1 level or higher. Here's all the different math classes that we offer at Summit Learning Charter. All the way from beginning Algebra 1 to Algebra 1, Intermediate Algebra 1, Geometry, Math Models, Consumer Math, Financial Math, Algebra 2, Probability and Statistics, Trigonometry, and Pre-Calculus. We have a whole range of different classes you can do. Again, you just need to do 3 out of these. And they range from being in Canvas, being in Edgenuity, being in Odyssey-ware, or being in Acellus. So a lot of these classes you can take on several different platforms at our school. So what do you need to do to be successful? Well, learning math with an online curriculum can be a little bit different. It takes a little bit more independence, a little bit more being proactive in terms of what you are doing and how you are learning. And for some students, especially if math gives you anxiety, avoiding it is not a good solution. So here's some tips for having success at your math class this year with Summit Learning. First of all, let's take some notes. It helps you follow along and stay engaged with examples. Most classes, there's a video you're watching, and taking notes is a great way to make sure you're understanding what's in the video. You can write down key vocabulary words such as linear or term or conjugate, things like that pop up in a lot of your math classes. And then you should, as you're taking notes, pause the video to see, do I really understand? Did I understand that example that they were going through? Did I go line by line? Are there things that I don't get in terms of where they got that number? And finally, you can practice out problems on assignments. Not only are you taking notes on lessons and what you're learning, but as you're doing your questions, as you're doing assignments, as you're working through problems, show your work through it out. Make sure you're following along. The more you do that and the less you try and just do it in your head and click the right answer, it's going to have way more success. Finally, draw pictures, diagrams, charts, graphs. Last week we did a lot on note taking, and so I want you to think even more in particular about how you can take good notes to help you learn in your math class. Other one is use a calculator. So much of high school math is assuming that you're using a calculator to make things visual, that you're using a calculator to compare functions with equations with tables, and that you're using a calculator for basic calculations. You're not doing adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing by hand anymore. There's a lot more complicated things we want you to get into. So use a calculator to check your work. Use a calculator to see graphs, to help you understand problems. It's going to be a great tool for you in your high school career. There are a lot of online resources, and I would love for you to use them. You can definitely use Khan Academy, CK12 Math, or YouTube would be, again, you can search for a lot of problems and examples on YouTube. Again, a lot of them are probably blocked, but there's some stations that we have available. I have links to Khan Academy, CK12, and my own YouTube station for math in the Week 9 module, so feel free to explore those. We definitely want you to learn, and utilizing resources is a great way to do that. Get help and feedback. So there's a lot of ways you can get help or feedback at Summit Learning. We have online or in-person math tutoring available, both at our Eagle Creek and our Tigard campuses. And for online, we have a math tutor and 2 teachers who are available to meet with you, schedule tutoring times, get that help you need. Make sure you're reviewing assignments and quizzes. Don't just click and go through and just keep going through and going through. Take the time to review. See what questions you missed. Find out what you missed. If you had a really low score, please do not keep moving on, because the next assignment is going to assume that you know that stuff and it's going to keep building on it. Email, text your teachers questions. So if you can't meet with tutoring, at least start the ball rolling, conversing about problems, and then get help when needed. Please do not wait. It's really hard when students come at the very end, they've failed a test and they've gone through like 8 lessons and failed each one of those, and they want to really quickly bring up their grades. You need to get help right away on that first lesson. If you fail that first lesson and are finding you're not understanding it, get help there before you keep moving on. Don't wait until right at the end of the term to then try and make up 20 different assignments. It's not going to go very well. Work on math every day. This seems like a no-brainer, but when you have math anxiety, when you don't like working in a class, it's really easy to avoid working on it. So make a plan on doing math every day. Did you know that math uses the same mental skills as learning a language? It's not something you can learn very well if you want to do a power 4-hour session in a day to do all your math. You need to do a little bit every day and then let your brain rest, process, think about that stuff, and then do a little bit the next day and then process that stuff. That's the best way to learn. It's proven scientifically that you'll do better. So Monday through Friday, maybe even Saturday, do a little bit of math and keep plugging away at it, and you'll find that that consistent viewing it, that consistent learning is going to stick with it a lot better than if you just do it once a week for like 3 hours. All right, wrapping things up. We want you to be successful in math this year. So again, utilize resources, take the right classes that sound interesting for what you want to learn, get help from our math teachers and tutor, and put in the time and the effort to help you learn. If you have any questions about math, please contact your math teacher, and we'd love to help work with you, especially if you're already finding that you're behind and you want to get a reset on things and figure out how to set some good goals and have success this year.